She's been on Conan. Give it up for Danielle Broussard.
Hey, clap for that guy doing a fabulous job. I'm Danielle. Hi. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I just don't have any kids. And it is the toughest job in the world. I used to work outside the home, but then I quit, did the right thing, so I could take care of myself full time. It is really paying off. I'm off the Ritalin, and almost the crack, So I have an interesting hobby. I like to talk to telemarketers. Well, I'm home all day taking care of myself. What else am I going to do, right? Clean? Come on. So, but a lot of people think I have a young sounding voice, so I use it against the telemarketers when they call. Hello? Is my mom home? No, just me. And I'm naked. Door's wide open. Come on over, we'll take a bath. Hello? Hello? I received an obscene call one time, that was fun. Hello? What am I wearing? Oshkosh bagosh. What are you wearing? Aren't you cold? You want me to do what? Describe a part of my body. Okay. This really bad rash. It's all red and itchy, and when I scratch it, it bleeds. Hello? Hello? They always call back. So you guys, you seem like a nice audience. You do. They're not all nice. No. Last week I played to a crowd. Everyone in the audience was from the drug company Merck. So they're all drug dealers. Right. Can you tell the drug companies are run by men? Just a little. What are the two biggest drugs they've given us in the past 20 years?
Viagra.
Viagra with the Rogaine chaser. Woo! Right? You can kind of see where their priorities are. Right? I always picture the president of the drug company calling down to the scientists in the lab. It's like, yeah, what are you working on down there? No, screw cancer, I'm going bald and limp over here. Get on it. Saving lives should be a distant second to fixing my penis. Get back to work. Oh my God. So, and you know what, anyone else with my pet peeve? Going to the drugstore and picking up your drugs. Does anybody else, like, just makes you crazy, right? And there's always somebody in front of you in line who thinks their drugs are just way more important than your drugs. Like whatever's wrong with them is better, worse off than what you have. This lady was taking forever. I finally I had to say, look, listen, honey, okay, I know you want your insulin, okay, but I need my birth control, okay? Do you know she had the nerve to say to me? She's like, you don't have to have sex. I'm like, you don't need to eat donuts, okay? So, priorities, you know what I mean? So I wasn't always a comic. Before this, I was a professional figure skater. Thank you very much. Yeah, all that hard work paid off, huh? Yeah. So like all ex-figure skaters, I ended up in a cold, damp rink teaching little kids to ice skate. Yeah, isn't that great? Yeah, have you met kids? They're like little stupid people. Have you seen them? They're very rude and sticky little fingers. No morals or manners. Yeah, so let me explain something. Okay, I say little kids are a lot like dogs. Some of them are really cute, and some of them should just be put to sleep. Also, little known fact, teaching kids is actually very, very hazardous to your fertility. Because after a full day of it, you want to go home and take your uterus out with a fork. I'm not going to need that anymore. Yeah. And the only thing worse than the kids were the parents. Okay, because the parents are in total denial regarding the level of talent that God has bestowed upon their precious offspring. Okay, I taught a sport. God did not create all the little programmers equally, okay? So one day a year, I used to have reality day for the parents. I gather them all together and sit them down, like, okay, listen up. Your child has no athletic ability. No, none. No, he can barely walk in shoes. You can keep the helmet for when he gets out of the car. When's he going to the Olympics? As soon as falling on your glasses and peeing your pants becomes a sport. I have 2 words for you. Computer camp. You named him Stuart. What were you thinking? You know what I did like though? I used to like the hockey dads. No more enthusiastic creature on the planet. Hockey dads would bring me their 5-year-old son in complete hockey equipment, right? Jerseys scraping the ice. The kid, $500 Bauer skates. The kid can't stand in the skates. They want me to turn their kid into Wayne Gretzky in 3 lessons or less. They're like, yeah, here's my little Bobby. Make my son a man. It's not the usual way I do it. Okay, come on, let's go. You guys are an interesting crowd. You really are. Inappropriate sex and fat jokes. You guys are just... Now I know the level of the room. Okay, I got it now. Oh my God. So when people find out that I grew up a figure skater, they all say the same thing. They're like, oh, you were a young girl wearing those little skirts, but the boys were after you. My sport was figure skating. I didn't meet a straight man until I was 25 years old. You want to meet a straight guy at the rink? You better skate really, really fast and jump on the guy driving the Zamboni. Quick before Brian Botano gets him. Hurry, help him. That is absolutely true. All the guys that I knew that I grew up with in skating, every last one of them is gay. But back then, they were gay, but they didn't know they were gay. And we didn't know they were gay. So we dated them, because we didn't know. So like 15 years ago, this movie came out, Brokeback Mountain. Jesse Brokeback Mountain, right? So for the people who don't know about Brokeback Mountain, it's a story about these 2 guys who are married to women, but then when nobody's looking, they run off into the woods together and have sex. And people are like, Danielle, you gonna see Brokeback Mountain? You gonna see Brokeback Mountain? I said, no, you know what, I'm not gonna see Brokeback Mountain, because I didn't like that story the first time when it was called My Prom. Again, I know how it ends, okay? So, I want to know the level of the room. Clap if you're single. Single people, clap. Oh my God. That is sad. Okay, married people, clap if you're married. You don't know? You're not sure? I'm just confused. It's a simple question. This is the only place where the married people are happier than the single people. Is this Utah? Where? No, good for you married people. It's so much better to be married. The world revolves around the married people with the kids, doesn't it? Everything. It's all about the breeders and their spawn, right? There's a prejudice against being a single person in America. Very single prejudice, there really is. And it's true. I know this for a fact because I travel by myself for comedy all the time, right? And I'll go into a restaurant and the hostess will come up to me and she'll be like, how many in your party? Just me. Oh. So sad. Right? And then she walks me past the smoking section and the non-smoking section. She puts me in the leper section by the kitchen, right? Where the married people are pulling their children away from me in horror. Don't stare. Don't stare at the lonely woman. It's sad. You don't want to turn out like that. Do you realize that you can't smoke in a restaurant anymore, but you can put a kid in a loaded diaper on the table and play patty cake, okay? Am I allowed to sit on the table in a loaded diaper and play patty cake? No, they stopped me. I've tried it. It's different if you're a guy though, right? If you're like a 30-year-old guy, you're not married, you're like a superhero to all your married friends. You know, you're like leaping tall buildings in a single bound and avoiding responsibility, right? It's different for a woman, right? If you're a 30-year-old woman, you're not married, you're just like a big freakish loser, right? And no one ever believes that being single could possibly be your choice. They treat it like this horrible thing that happened to you, like a disease. It's like, oh, you're how old and you're still single? What's wrong with you? Like, I don't know, I pray to Satan every night for a husband. don't know where he is. Right? And God forbid you hit 35 and you don't have a baby. Like everybody's just in your business. It's like, you're how old? And you don't have kids yet? Is the clock ticking? Tick, 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 tick. That's rude. Get out of my uterus. Right? It's like, I mean, I never did. Do I walk up to guys in their 40s and go, what are you? You're 40 now? Can you still maintain an erection? I'm curious. I'm worried about you. Right? It's different than in your 20s. You can hit nails into a board with it. Right? Now it's a whole different. You have to like bend it in now. Right? It's a whole different. It's like shooting pool with a rope now. Right? So, yes, Scott. You know they're coming out with a female Viagra. Have you heard of the female Viagra? Yeah. Yeah, except there's side effects. Yeah, the side effect is that every time you sneeze, you have an orgasm. They're not going to make any money because everyone's going to stop taking their Claritin. So I have come up with a, because there's single prejudice, I have come up with a politically correct term for single with no kids. Happy. Like, are you married with kids or are you happy? So I'm single, you know, and I date a lot because, well, obviously, I'm a whore. And, but I never seem to meet Mr. Right. I always meet Mr. Right. Mr. Yet Right is the guy that lies to you all the time. You guys lie a lot. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, I used to get mad at men for lying, and then I just realized it's just what they do. You know, it's like getting mad at monkeys for throwing shit. This is what they do. But I've come up with a way that we can get back at jerks for lying to us. Yeah, you know how they used to put pictures of jerks? I'm sorry, you know how they used to put pictures of kids on the back of milk cartons? I think as a service to women everywhere, we should put pictures of jerks on the back of tampon boxes. Then we can have the Tampax 10 Most Wanted. You guys are a weird crowd. You are. You're really weird. Have you decided whether you're single or not yet? Because we're waiting it out? No. Okay. All right. Well, okay, if you guys want to talk about it, you want to talk about autoerotic asphyxiation? Yeah! That's the sound of the man who strangles himself. Weekly. All right. For those of you who don't know, autoerotic asphyxiation is when I can't even pronounce it. It's when you are trying to masturbate, but you accidentally kill yourself. Right. Now, call me old-fashioned, but I can't think of anything more embarrassing than trying to masturbate and accidentally killing yourself, except perhaps trying to kill yourself and accidentally masturbating. Because that's embarrassing. Thank you very much. Good night.